Good morning, Gavan. Here's your machine, the Breville dual boiler. This was actually my personal Breville dual boiler. I sell a lot of coffee machines and I refurbish them as well. This was my personal one. I've used it for about a year. Got it secondhand about a year ago. And I've recently had to get the barista touch here on the left since I needed the kitchen bench space. As you can see, it's a fairly large machine. It's a powerful, capable machine, but it's fairly large. So in addition to the machine itself, you'll need a grinder, of course. So I just, in my small area here, it just took way too much space, so I had to get the touch. The machine is in great condition, in and out. So cosmetically, it's very, very clean. I am very fastidious. I don't like to bang the port filter here and there. I don't like to get the machine too scratched. So it's in very good condition. When I got it, it was used, so it had a couple of scratches. So very small scratch here on the back, couple of very small nicks on the front tray, and light scratches, and then small nick here on the left. But honestly, very, very clean. And on the inside, it's basically like new. I serviced it myself, so I did the cleaning and the flushes myself. And when I got it, I changed the rubber rings. And just before the sale here, before the sale now, a couple months ago, I actually, before listing the machine for sale, I took it to an espresso repair shop to do a full service on it. So they changed some more of the O-rings that I couldn't reach myself, like the underside of the boiler and the side of the boiler, like the boiler fill port, etc. They also changed the group head seal, and yeah, they checked everything else. That everything is fine, and the receipt for that service is included in the sale. Enough about the condition. Let's make a coffee. So, I'm going to assume you've never used a coffee machine before, so I'm going to go through the basics as well as the more advanced stuff. When you turn on the machine, usually it takes about 5 minutes to reach temperature. So it's set at the default 93. In fact, I think I'll just like reset it now, so you can get it fresh with fresh settings. There we go. It's usually 93 on the default setting on the boiler. You can change that, of course, to the degree from like 85 to 98, I think. Very, very precise control. You can change a lot of the settings as well, like the steam boiler temperature, the button lengths if you want them in volume or in seconds. I think the default is seconds. Let's quickly check that. We'll go to volume. Yeah, I like to keep it on seconds actually. You can brew manually. You can tell the machine to wake up in the morning before you do. So because it's a dual boiler, it will take a while to turn on. But what I've done, I've put a program to tell the machine to turn on at I think it was, should have been 6 a.m. Yep, 6 a.m. So 6 a.m. is the machine will start turning on, and by 6, like 10, it'll be nice and hot. So, without any further ado, I'll show you my process. Once it's on, it's pretty much nice and warm after 10 minutes. So you don't have to warm it up much more than that. But in case you turned it on just now and you want to make a coffee right away without waiting for the machine to warm up, you can quickly warm it up by running a blank shot. So basically, get your cup. Obviously, the port filter is empty. Just press the single button. It will give you hot water that will flow through the group head, through the port filter. It'll warm things up pretty quickly. It'll warm up your cup very nicely as well. This will also clean any coffee oils or grounds that are stuck in the shower screen or the port filter. So I usually do it even if the machine is nice and hot, just to give that cleaning effect, I guess. It'll go for 25 seconds if I remember correctly. Okay, it goes for 30 seconds. That always is changeable, so I think you can go from 5 seconds to like 2 minutes. I can't remember, but yeah, the range is very high. Most coffees should be between 20 to 30 seconds. 20 for single shot, 30 for double shot. I'll put this on the side. Next, I'll obviously take out the port filter, drain the water, grab a tissue, dry it thoroughly. This is a double basket, the single wall double basket. This takes 18 to 20 grams of coffee. It's a fairly large basket. I will measure the inputs and outputs here with my scale. I've got a scale to calibrate sort of the grinder and the buttons, etc. I'm going to use my machine to grind for me. This is an old coffee, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Okay, I'm gonna, let's use 18 grams. If we do 20 grams, we might choke the machine, so we don't want to do that. That's exactly 18 grams. Perfect. You want to use good fresh beans. If you use stale beans or cheap, really cheap beans that are many months old from the supermarket, or even if you buy good beans and you don't store them properly, what you'll notice is that your coffee will almost always be sour, quick, low pressure, and low crema. Whereas if you use good beans, you'll notice the opposite. You'll notice that your shots will have a lot of pressure, a lot of crema, a lot of nice flavors, and will flow at the right speed. So you can almost tell by looks if this is good coffee or bad coffee. Right. I've been using these grind settings for a long time on my machine, so they're pretty much good to go for this model. So this is a 54 millimeter basket. I haven't used it on a 58 millimeter basket, but we'll try. Obviously, we don't have a choice. In the meantime, I was gonna pour some milk. I'm going to be using my personal small milk jug. Your machine comes with the normal size Breville jug. I'm using the small jug because I'm making a magic, like Ristretto magic drink. Because this cup is so small, I sort of have to do the magic instead of a full latte. Yeah, 17.9, I'm happy about that. And after you put the coffee grounds in here, if you're using if you're using your own grinder or pre-ground coffee, just make sure you distribute it nicely, so that once you come to tamp it with the machine's tamper, it's even pressure across all the sides. Press nice and firm. Put it on the bench if you have to. And you know you have the correct dose if this part disappears. So the silver part on the tamper is like a guide. In this case, it disappears and it goes a little bit deeper than that. So that's why I usually say this is an 18 to 20 gram basket, because if you put 20 grams, it'll be just just like this, but in this case a bit deeper than that, which is fine. It's a bit underdosed is better than a bit overdosed. This is what it looks like. Make sure it's flat, even surface. Clean the edges as well. You don't want any gaps or holes or loose coffee here either. Lock it in. Because it's a fresh rubber seal, you don't have to push it all the way to the right. Just in the middle is more than good enough. Oh, it's quite tight actually. Just like a new machine. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this yellow looking water. And I'm gonna show you the hot water spout here. You can you can use this to warm up your cups. You can use it to do tea bags, or obviously for a coffee machine you can use it to do Americanos, like long black Americano coffee. In my case, I add a little bit of hot water to add sugar to my coffee, just because I'm used to it. If you're a coffee nerd, I can say that this lever can be used for something called pressure profiling. So you can actually control the pressure during the shot with opening this slightly. But that's very niche. I've never used it. I don't think most people do. But it's a little known fact. Cool. Import was 18 grams. We want to double that. If you didn't know, a espresso is good a lot of the time at a 2-to-1 ratio. So for every gram you put in, you want 2 grams out. We put 18, we want 36 out in 30 seconds. So the machine will always go for 30 seconds by default on the double setting as well. So we want a grind size on whatever grinder we're using. We want the grind size to give us 36 grams by the end of that 30-second shot. So I'm gonna make a coffee now. I'm gonna hope it's correct. If it's too fast or too slow, I'll tolerate that. But if it's severely underdosed or overdosed, I will maybe do another shot. So if I get anything between 30 to 42, I'll be happy, honestly. Let's go. So double. Obviously it's a dual boiler. You have steam available at all times. But I'll be doing them separately just so we can see what's happening. So 12-second mark is when the coffee started pouring. It's exactly at 9 bars. It is flowing fairly slowly, but maybe at the end of the 30-second mark we'll have the correct amount of coffee. It's actually looking pretty good, if I'm being honest. Nice symmetrical flow from the spouts. And yeah, I think that's about 30 to 35 grams actually. Looks really good. I think we got it right in the first go. Only one way to confirm. And that is 30.2 grams. So it looks very good. Let me just put the camera closer. Sorry about the mess. This is what it looks like. Very nice crema. 30 grams. So it's a bit too fine for this machine. On my Barista Touch, this grind size is perfect. It gives me 36 grams in 1 second. On my personal machine, this grind size gives me 36 grams in 30 seconds. But because maybe this is a bigger basket, or maybe because I tamped hard, it flowed a bit slowly. So what I would do if I were to make another coffee, which I won't, but if I were to make another coffee, I would probably grind one number coarser and try again, keeping everything the same. So I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna redo the shot. What some people do, and you could do this as well, we'll do that now actually, just to get a bit more out of that coffee puck. I don't recommend it, but just for completion's sake, I'm going to run it a bit more. Extract a bit more caffeine out of the shot and maybe balance balance that flavor. So when you under extract, yeah, that's 40 grams, perfect. When you under extract, it becomes a bit too bitter. So if you're getting less than 30 grams in 30 seconds, if you're getting less than 30 grams of espresso, it'll be bitter. If you get much more than 40 grams, it'll be sour. In the middle, it'll taste probably perfect. So at 36 exactly. So if your grinds are too fine and you're getting very little coffee, you need to increase the grind size. Otherwise, your coffee will be bitter and short. If your grind size is too large, your coffee will be flowing too quickly. You'll get a large amount of coffee, and that'll be sour. Okay, enough talking. Let's do the milk. Let's do the cleaning actually. After every shot, I recommend you wait a few seconds and then knock out the puck. And then give it a flush. And if you want to be extra nice, grab a brush or a tissue and wipe the grip head. There's almost always a bit of coffee grounds in there, even after you flush, obviously, because the water can't get to the sides. So just give it a wipe. The machine will thank you for that. You can lock in the portafilter very lightly so it stays warm for the next coffee, or you can keep it off. It's personal preference, I think. When you steam, give it a flush just to get out any condensation. Here's my milk jug. It'll be really quick, not only because it's a really powerful steam boiler with a lot of steam power, as you can see. This is also a small quantity of milk, so fairly quick. I'm going to keep the milk swirling in a vortex, and once it's too hot to the touch, I'm going to turn it off. Now, great. It's recommended to use cold milk so that it can texture a bit better than, you know, room temperature milk. You have more time to control and froth the flow. Oh, froth the milk and control the flow. Quickly grab a towel and wipe the wand. Very important, you want to purge after you use it. You don't want the milk to harden and clog and block the holes on the wand. So once you're done, just give it a quick purge. Get a wet towel and wipe it. It has to be wet, otherwise the milk won't come off. Yeah, that's how you keep the machine nice and clean. After finishing your coffee, give it a flush. After steaming, give it a purge and a wipe. And that's it. This is the latte done. You can turn off the machine. I wouldn't recommend keeping it on when you're not using it. It will turn off after 20 minutes anyway, but the more it stays on, the more power you use, and you know, it's wear and tear on the machine, in my opinion. But yeah, here's the milk. Hopefully we can fit it within the cup. It's a very small cup. Oh wow, this milk jug is really good. Makes latte art really easy. So it's also obviously the machine's to the machine's credit, because it's got really powerful milk wand that really helps get the right texture of milk. So this is almost like a heart. But yeah, if I were a barista, I would be making really nice patterns with this machine. It's really powerful. The wand has 3 holes, so it's really easy to get good texture. I'm sure you can do much better coffees than this. But this is already looking good. Thanks for watching. I'll see you very soon. Hope you enjoy the machine. And if you ever at any point have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate. And yeah, have a good one.